Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marta. I come from Norway and I love makeup, especially indie makeup and sparkly makeup. And today I am back on YouTube. It's been a while, but I just got my Oden's Eye order of these shades. I ordered 9 shadows from their new Jewel Shine collection, which had 12 multichromes and 30 shimmers. And 4 of these are multichromes and the rest, 5 of them, are shimmers, and I just picked out a few that I thought I would enjoy just to test out. I've never tried Oden's Eye before, so I was very excited to get these, and they just arrived today, so they're really new. I have not tried them on the eye yet. I've been wearing this makeup since like 7 in the morning, and now it's like over 5 in the evening, so I've had it on for a while. This is not this makeup, but I am going to do some swatches for you guys so you can see these in some different lighting, so hopefully I can capture most of the shifts in the shadows. And then I'm also going to do some comparisons, which I've not done yet as I'm filming this intro, so I'm really excited to see what kind of comparisons I have, especially for like the red and for this green one. Yeah, there's a couple that I know for sure that I have something that is similar, and then it is always interesting to see how similar they are in case you are wondering if you should pick some of these up and you have the same ones that I have. Hopefully that can be helpful. But I'm first just going to show you guys these more close up, and then I'm going to do the swatches and then the comparisons, and I'll try to put up chapters so that you can go to whatever shade and so on that you want, so you don't have to watch the whole video in case you're just interested in some of these shades. So if that sounds interesting to you, then please keep on watching. So I just wanted to show you guys how they look in the palette without having touched them yet, so I'm really excited to be swatching them. But I guess I could just quickly just tell you the names, and I will say it how I would in Norwegian. So Maja, Isabella, Olivia, Leon, Ingrid, Kevin, Ava, Robert, and last but not least, Chloe. So those are the shades. I will of course put some names on the screen as I swatch them, but I do also want to show you with my flashlight pointing on them so we can really see the sparkles and the shifts just in the pan. I just changed a little bit of the settings on my camera, and now I have my flashlight right here, and I just wanted to show you like the sparkles because they are quite sparkly, it looks like. And now I'm just going to just show you with lighting coming from a few different angles just in case you were wondering, but it will definitely be a lot easier to see once I actually swatch them on my arm. But wow, I'm especially impressed by the middle shade in the top row right here, called Isabella. It's just the perfect fall shade, and I'm really into those shades. So wow, yeah, they're really beautiful. Let's just get into the swatches. For the swatches, we are starting out with Maja, and here we have the shade, just how it looks like in the pan. It is such a gorgeous light golden shade with a pink to green shift. So let's just swatch it. Ooh, it looks way more orange when I do that. That's so interesting. So let's see how it looks on the arm. And here I just built it up a little bit, and I feel like you definitely see the orangey base a lot more now that I touched the pan. And it feels a little bit slick. So I'm going to show you with different light. So here you can see Maja and how it looks like with the flash on the side. I feel like you can see that it's very like thin and lays down very beautifully on the skin. It's very smooth, if I can say that. I mean, you can probably see it quite a bit just from this little video, and you can see that shift is really gorgeous. It's a lot more pigmented than I was expecting just from looking at the shade. So that is Maja. Next shade up is Isabella, and this is like a fall dream, at least to me. You can see that it shifts from kind of like a more rosy brown shade, and it goes all the way through gold and green, and it's just so pretty. And let's see how it looks like swatched. I hope that this one is pigmented as well. Oh my god, yes, it looks so pretty. If we can focus on, yes, there we go. Oh wow, look at that green shift. It looks so foiled as well. It's really pretty. You can really see that rosy, almost rose gold kind of base coming through when I swatch it. I'm just going to finish the swatch and show you with different lighting. First, I'll just show you the finger swatch after actually having rubbed the finger on the wrist, and it looks so gorgeous and so foiled. Super pretty. And then for the different lighting, I feel like these two shades actually have kind of like the same pigment that shifts. It's just that it's even easier to see on the deeper base of Isabella, because you can see that it really goes through that blue. It's almost blue here on the edge, but it's mostly green. Then it goes through gold, and then of course you have the pink that you can see on both of these swatches. So possibly if you can't get that many and you want both of these, I would guess that using a darker base underneath the top shade, Maja, will give you kind of the same result that you will get with Isabella. But it's so stunning, and I'm really happy I picked up both of them because they're really my type of shades. So shifty and sparkly. And it also felt the same, like both of them swatched the same. They're very smooth, but you can still see all those tiny beautiful sparkles. Next up is one of their more regular shimmers instead of multichrome, so this is a little bit cheaper to get, but I feel like the shimmers also look very sparkly and pretty. And this one is kind of like a peachy orangey base, but it has, I believe it is blue and pink sparkles. So let's just swatch it so we can see if it actually has a shift or not. Yeah, that is a little more chunky than the multichromes, which I kind of really like. I like a little bit of texture with my eyeshadows. So let's swatch Olivia right here. And here you can see it a little bit better on the finger when it's a little bit more smoother. Personally, I feel like I only see blue and pink sparkles and not necessarily a shift, but it is so stunning regardless. I really like this shade and I'm happy I picked it up. And here we can see it with the different lighting. So I definitely see the sparkles. I mean, it's gonna be easier for me to actually see that one once I have it on my computer, so hopefully you can tell what kind of colors is in this shade. But to me it looks like just a lot of pink and blue sparkles at least, so I hope that's kind of what you're seeing as well. But it's a very interesting, more neutral shade, and yeah, I think it's so stunning. And it does have a very opaque base, as you can see when I turn my arm. I really like this shade. So that was Olivia. Next shade up is another one of the regular shimmers. This one is called Kevin, and you can see that it has a really beautiful kind of sea foamy teal base with lots of blue sparkles. It actually reminds me a lot of Pastel Rose's shade called Teal. This looks very much like that one. I will do some comparisons, so we will see then, because I do actually have that shade, so I will figure out the name. So let's swatch this beautiful one. Ooh, that's a little bit lighter than it looks in the pan, so let's see how it swatches out. Oh, that is so vibrant. It's almost a little bit more limey, lime green. Wow, that is so stunning. Here you see it once it's a little bit smoother on the finger. I do feel like there's a pink shift to it as well, which is exactly the same as the shade from Pastel Roses that I was talking about. So here is the shade Kevin. Wow, this is so up my alley. It's almost more of a lime green base now that I have it swatched, compared to how it looked in the pan. but the shift is so stunning. You can definitely see that it goes a little bit through pink, but it's mostly blue, but it's kind of blue to pink. It's so pretty. I love, love, love this shade. Next up we have one of the shades I was the most excited about because I'm in love with Pastel Rose's Dragonfly, and this looked like it was going to be a dupe, but to be honest, it looks a little bit different. It just looks a little bit like, I don't know, more yellow and not as pink and warm in the shift. But we shall see when I swatch it. At least here you've gotten a little look at it in the pan. And this one also looks like it has a really vibrant lime green base. Oh, okay, now I was wondering about this because I felt like all of the other ones were like smooth and almost wet filling, but like this is wet filling. This is really like, I feel like if I took this very close to the microphone you could hear like the kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but it has just a very wet feel to it. I feel like I could like move it, like move the whole pan. Do you even see that? Yeah, it feels very wet, which might be a problem if the wetness is coming from something that's more oily, and I know that they have mineral oil in their formula, so it might crease, especially if you have hooded oily lids. But anyway, here you can see it on the finger, kind of sheared out, very, very smooth. The base is not that opaque, but you can definitely see the base a little bit more here. And to show the shift a little bit, I love the shift though. It's almost a peachy, light peachy shade, but it goes to, it just goes to green actually. It doesn't really, or does it touch blue shift? I don't know, I mostly just see the peach to green, but that is stunning. I really like it. But we will have to see how this one wears. So here we have the shade Leon, and I think I lied. This is the one I was the most excited about, just because it's a proper red and you almost never see a proper red. The only thing that does bother me is that this is clearly not a multichrome just because it has a kind of blackened base. That does not make it a multichrome. I only see red and a deep red. But wow, it is stunning though. It's so stunning. It's just a little bit annoying that they're like, look at this beautiful multichrome, but it's a red. It's just red. And that is not a bad thing. I get it if the pigment is more expensive and that's why they added it together like with the multichrome range, but it's not a multichrome. It's just not. And here you can see it more smoothed. Can you see that? Smoothed. On my finger, and wow, it is the best red I've ever swatched. I think I will be very excited to swatch it next to one of my Devinah shadows, and I also have one from Glam shop that are relatively red but a little bit more on the pink side, so definitely looking forward to compare those. And of course, just to show the sparkles, obviously not the color shifts because there are none here. You can see it's red. I don't know how many times I can say that, but oh, I love it so much. This is gonna be so perfect for like Valentine's looks, and just if you want a really proper red shade, this will be a shade I think I will use a lot in custom palettes because it's so unique. So that is Leon. Now this next shade is called Ava or Ava, and this is not one I would initially have picked up myself just because I don't really go for the more pink shades, but I definitely feel like this is kind of like borderline purple, so I'm not mad that I picked this up, and it's all thanks to Lauren May Beauty here on YouTube because I watched her video and I thought it looked really nice swatched out. Ooh, that is really pretty. It definitely does look a little bit more purple, so I do really like that. And I will say up until now, the only shade that has been kind of putty-like and very wet was the shade called Ingrid. All of the other ones were more just smooth. And this one as well is just smooth. And here we have it on my finger again, just after I did the whole swatch. It doesn't really have any shifts or anything, but it is really stunning. I will say that I felt like I saw some shifts when I swatched it, more like going from a warmer to cooler shift, so we will see now. So here is Ava. Yeah, okay, yeah, you can see it goes from a very almost bluish purple, and then here on the side you can see it goes all the way to, I don't know, it looks a green to me, but is it more of a gold or is it green? I would kind of say green, but I might be mistaken. You probably won't see too much of the green. You'll probably just see the gold, and of course the pink. But that is really pretty. No wonder why I thought this looked beautiful in Lauren May's video. It's a really pretty shade. Second to last shade is this shade called Robert, or Robert as we would say in Norwegian. And this one is kind of hard to explain. I feel like it is kind of purpley, but it's also just kind of silvery or taupe looking. I'll just have to swatch it so I can see more properly, because I feel like some of these it's harder to tell what kind of color it actually is going to be. But I definitely feel like there is some purple here. So let's just swatch the shade Robert. Oh yes, oh my god, this looks so much like one of my favorite pastel roses shimmers, and that is called Nightmare, and the one they have now is just not the same that it was last year, and it looks so much like this one. I'll have to compare those for sure, because that one was just so stunning, and I'm so sad that the new one is not as sparkly and basically just not the same shade anymore. But this one, it's very close to it. It's a slightly warmer berry base with, I guess it's kind of like silver, but also a few gold sparkles. And here you can also see it on my finger. Definitely looks very silvery, but with that kind of warmer berry base. And here, so you can see the shift. I don't know if there is a lot of shift. I just feel like it's mostly just kind of, I don't know, is it more of a champagne? Because I feel like I'm seeing both silver and gold, but maybe it's just the fact that it's more champagne. But it's really pretty. What do you think? Do you like this kind of shade? I really like this one. Last but not least, it is the shade Chloe, and this one I would not have picked up by myself, but seeing Lauren May's video, this one was one I just thought was so pretty. This one is like a light purpley cool tone shade with lots of different sparkles. So let us just swatch it and see how it looks like. Definitely quite silvery, I will say that. And on the arm, oh wow, I cannot wait to use my flashlight to look at this swatch, because it looks really sparkly. Oh, just those last two would look so good together, with this one being kind of more the lighter highlighting shade on the inner part of the lid, and the other one more to the outer corner. And then here you can see it more smooth on my finger. Wow, it's so shiny. It's almost wet looking actually, because you can't really see it when I do like this. You barely see that it's there. Then you see all that shine and sparkle. So pretty. And here, of course, with the flashlight coming onto it, it looks really pretty. I hope that you can see all of those tiny sparkles. Wow, it's so stunning. I won't say it's like a super special shade, but I'm not sure if I actually have something like this in my collection. But it's very pretty. It's like a very muted light purple with lots of silver. I guess you could also say blue and a little bit of gold sparkles. So that is Chloe, and that was the last one. I really wanted to show you guys all the swatches together so you can see them kind of more compared to each other with the name on the side. I guess it helps a little bit when it comes to at least seeing the depth of the shadow, and in general just like the differences. Now I will say that I didn't pick up a lot of similar shades, but I mean the two first ones are kind of in the similar I guess they have the similar shift. And I do have 2 green ones, and the 2 last ones, although they are quite different in depth, they do have some similarity when it comes to the tone, because they're both a little bit more of the purpley, silvery, taupey kind of shade. But here you can see them together. I'll also show you a little bit of close-up, but without the text with the names. So here I have them a little bit more close. Oh my god, look at how sparkly they are. They're so pretty. Okay, so I will definitely say that without having tried them on my eyes, I am very, very excited about these shades, and it definitely feels like the right time to try out this new to me brand. Yeah, and I'm really, really happy with the selection of shades that I chose. So I will go ahead and see if I can find some comparisons, at least to some of the shades. I don't know if I will find some for all of them, but at least some of them. So I'm going to do the comparison not in the order that I swatched the shadows initially. I don't really have that many dupes for some of these, but I figured it's kind of worth just trying to show at least one. So this is Chloe, the lightest one. That was the last one that I swatched, and this is Pastel Rose's Magic Stick. And I did already swatch all of them on my arm, so it's a little bit quicker for you guys to see. So we have those right here, and I feel like they look kind of similar right here. I don't know, they probably would give kind of the same kind of look. I don't know, do I need even darker light just to show kind of the sparkles? I don't know. I feel like Pastel Roses is definitely a drier formula. I have comparisons with a lot of Pastel Roses shadows for these Oden's Eye ones, and the Pastel Roses are definitely more dry, but they're also a little bit more expensive, I think, at least for not being multichromes. At least they don't call them multichromes. I think they just call them duochromes, but yeah, regardless, I personally prefer the drier formulas, but I do really like the Oden's Eye ones. Next up, I did really want to compare these two. This is Ingrid, and then this is Pastel Rose's Dragonfly, which is just insane. I need to do a Pastel Roses video because I ordered a bunch and I still haven't made any video on them. As you can see, they look quite similar, a little bit different maybe because this one from Oden's Eye looks a little bit more lime or warmer green. This has a little bit more blue in it in the base. And I definitely feel like the Pastel Roses one has a way more prominent pink shift. And I do also have them swatched, and you can definitely see that the Pastel Roses one does not have that much of a base, as does Ingrid right here. You can see that it's a lot more of a base. It's a lot more warmer, yellowy kind of leaning. Yeah, they're just not really that similar at all. I mean, I guess they're in the same color family, but not that similar. Next one's up is Kevin compared to Pastel Rose's Teal. It was the one that I thought was really similar, and they do look quite similar in the pan, but swatched out I do feel like they are quite different after all. You can see Kevin has just so much more of a warmer green base, whereas Teal, again, it doesn't have that prominent of a base, and it's a lot cooler toned. I mean, not warmer. I'm gonna show you with the different lighting as well, so you can see a little bit more of the sparkles. They do have the same kind of shift though, that goes from like blue to a more pink shift. I guess you can see it a little bit here, but definitely different shadows. Next up that I wanted to compare, it's a little bit hard to hold all three of them here, but it's Leon, which is the red one. It's incredible. This one is Amant or Lover from Glam Shop, and then this one is Blazed from Devinah. I will list all of these comparisons down below. So as you can see here, this is Leon, this is Lover from Glam Shop, and this is Blazed by Devinah. So definitely Blazed is more similar, because Amant or Lover is a little bit more pink toned. But I wonder how it would look like with a deeper base, because you can see that Leon really has that super deep base, but it's very sparkly and shiny. I don't even know if I need to use the flashlight for these ones because they don't really have any shifts, but I mean, you can definitely see a big difference in these. Then next comparison, it's the shade Maja. I compared it with Catchy right here from Glam Shop, and then Lure from Pastel Roses here. Absolutely adore these. I'm just going to show you the swatches, and here you can see them. So this one is the shade Maja from Oden. This is Catchy from Glam Shop, and then it's Pastel Roses Lure. Definitely feel like I need to show you with different lighting here so you can see them a little bit more. They're quite different. I guess Lure is the one that is closer to it. They're actually relatively similar right now. I feel like Lure maybe has even, or do you say Lure? I don't know. It's spelled L-U-R-E. Anyway, I feel like Lure has a little bit more of a pink shift. At least it looks a little bit stronger in the Pastel Roses one. Catchy is not really that similar. It only has a little bit of an orangey gold look, and of course a little bit green. But yeah, I definitely feel like Pastel Rose Lure is very similar, so you don't necessarily need both. I definitely thought these two would be a lot more similar than they are. We have Robert, and then we have Nightmare from Pastel Roses. Turns out Robert is a lot lighter than Nightmare, because Nightmare has a black base, kind of. And I would also say that Robert has a little bit more of a cooler toned purple base than Nightmare. Nightmare is a little bit more kind of reddish. I don't know if you can see that, but there's definitely a big difference in depth. And this kind of Nightmare shade is not to be found anymore, so that I would think that apart from this one having a little bit more of a kind of silvery blue shift, this is a little bit more of a silvery purple, I guess. This one would probably look quite similar if you have a black base underneath it. So that is Nightmare from Pastel Roses compared to Robert. Okay, this is really hard to hold them all up so you can see them, but here we have Isabella from Oden. This one is Centaurus by Devinah. Then we have Dreamer from Pastel Roses, and I just brought this one. It's a lot deeper, but it's Solar Expansion from Terra. I just know a lot of people have this one, so I just figured I would swatch it, and also you can see a little bit more of a difference from the formula of Terra compared to the other ones. Okay, so here we have them, and it's from the top to the bottom. It is the Oden's Eye Isabella, then it is Centaurus by Devinah, and Dreamer from Pastel Roses, and last but not least, Solar Expansion from Terra. So I feel like they are quite similar. Definitely don't need if you definitely don't know if you need all of them, but I guess you can choose yourself if you have a few of them or just one of them, if you need the Oden's Eye one, or if you want the Oden's Eye one instead if you don't have any of them. So I definitely feel like Oden's Eye has a way more smoother formula. You can kind of see that. Again, I just want to point out that Pastel Roses has a way more drier formula, as does Glam Shop. As you could see from this one, I do have a lot of multichromes from Glam Shop, and they are more textured, they're drier. And I know some people don't like that. I personally kind of prefer it because it gives more texture, and I don't know, it just kind of looks a little bit more sparkly in my opinion when you have that. So I really enjoy that. But the Oden's Eye ones are beautiful. And I feel like the regular shimmers that are more like duochromes, they do have a little bit more of that texture, as you can see from, for example, this shade here called Kevin. So yeah, I don't know what else I can say. I feel like you have to kind of judge by yourself how similar you think they are. I don't know what else I can say about the formula other than the fact that Oden's Eye is a lot kind of more creamy and smooth, and the only one that is like super wet or kind of like putty like is this one, the shade called Ingrid. So that is definitely a more putty like shade, and I don't know if they would crease or not. I have not tried them yet. Oh, and I noticed, I forgot, but I did swatch Tully from Glam Shop here, just to compare with Kevin, but they're they're so different. It's like more similar to Teal, but Teal is not that similar to Kevin, so it's kind of a reach to compare them because it doesn't really have a base. Anyway, I hope that both the swatches and the comparisons were helpful or at least entertaining to watch. I would love to know what you think about the whole, like the Oden's Eye collection. I personally don't like that they did these pants. I don't really care that much about the pattern, but I'm going to have to repan these if I want to use them in my custom palettes, which is why I bought them, so obviously I will have to repan them. But I am curious what you think of them, either if you have them already, or if you're considering to buy them, or if you're just kind of looking at them from afar. What do you think of them? Like, I'm curious. Anyway, I'm going to cut the video right now because it's gotten to be a quite long video with all the comparisons and all the in-depth swatches. But I just want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!